Hi, welcome to my first update. On this update, I'm going to tell you not only where I'm at now in my weight loss progress, but I'm also going to tell you a little bit about two methods that I have tried and the pros and cons of both and why one is working for me and one really didn't. First off, if you don't know, I am the Portly Paladin. Uh, my goal here is to show everyone out there what it's like and how it is possible to go from well over 400 pounds, like myself, to something a little bit more reasonable, something that can be considered fit, or maybe not thin. I don't know if I'll ever be thin, but at least fit, manageable, within something that can be considered, I guess, normal. So, start off. As I just said, I start off well over 400 pounds. I don't know how much over 400 because, well, I'm so large that I can't weigh myself on any standard scale. Even the scale at my doctor's office only goes up to 375. Now, there are scales that go up larger, but they're quite expensive. The most reasonable one I found is about $75 for a household scale that goes up to like 525 pounds. Now, there are some that go up to, say, 425 or so that are a little bit cheaper. I do plan on getting one of those at some point so that I can start tracking my weight. But as of right now, I don't track weight, I track measurements. As you can see here in my notebook, I track a couple measurements. I've got bicep, wrist, neck, chest, waist, thigh, and calf. Um, that'll give me a good marker and good indicator as to how things are progressing. To give you an example, the first time I did this, took measurements, was April 17th. Now I've been dieting now for about 4 weeks, so I've only been doing Weight Watchers program for 2 weeks, and that's when I've been tracking my measurements. So the first week, for example, my chest measurement was 73 inches. This past Sunday, when I took the measurement again, it had gone down to 69. So as you can see, I'm getting some improvement. And 73 is large, I understand, but we're getting there. Now let's talk a little bit more about the differences between the programs. The first thing I tried out was something called SparkPeople.com. It's a calorie counting program. With that program, you do exactly what it sounds like. It has um, a web-based program that you can enter in and search the foods that you eat, and it gives you a calorie count for those foods and gives you an opportunity to track how many calories and other things are in each food. And it even, based on the weight you are and the weight you want to be and the date, it'll give you an idea of how many calories you should be eating per day in order to get that goal, as well as the amount of calories you should be burning per day. It's a pretty good program. I like it for some reasons, but the counting of calories just got to be a little finicky for me. I do like the site though, for it's got a lot of recipes and exercises, videos, how-tos, things like that can help you along the way. So I still use it to some degree, but I don't use it for tracking my food anymore. It's just counting the calories got a little bit too precise for me. Counting every single calorie down to the gram of the amount of pickles I was putting in my sandwich got to be a little crazy. So what I have done instead is I've joined Weight Watchers. Now, I'm not paying for the program. Actually, I know someone who was in the program and is no longer using their materials. So they gave me all of their materials from when they were in the program, and I'm using that to go ahead and start. I think at some point, though, I might go ahead and upgrade and join the program myself to get to the newer information, because they have changed the way they do their points calculations and things. Previously, as you can tell by, there's a little calculator that comes with the kit. It lets you calculate your points Right here is a points button. You hit that and type in your information. The three things it tracks on this program, which was from 2009, is calories, fat, and fiber. Uses those three items in a formula to determine a points value for whatever it is you're eating. The newer program, I've looked into it, also takes into account carbs. So you enter in the carbs values of different things, and that will change your points value based on those the carb amount as well. I might end up changing to that. I've read some blogs that say that the newer program doesn't work as well for them. I guess maybe it allows more points, or I'm not really sure how it works out. But so if I change, I'll make sure to let you know about the new program as it happens. Anyway, moving on a little bit further with the actual weight loss program with Weight Watchers. If you're not familiar, it's a pretty simple process. In the beginning books that you get with your kit, you put little calculations together. Your weight, height, age, activity level, a few other things, and you calculate these together, and it will basically give you a point value for yourself, something you should strive for. Based on my weight level, if you just did it straight up, I'd probably be eating like 60 points a day. But one of the key rules with the program is because they do want you to get to a manageable weight as quickly as possible. If you come out with more points than 44, your point level becomes 44. So right now I'm at 44 points. Now 44 points can give you a lot per day. It's really actually fairly easy to manage at 44 points. To give you a couple of ideas here, again, I have my notebook. I also use this to track food. This last week, see, for Monday, for breakfast last week, I had a bowl of oatmeal. It was seasoned with a little bit of brown sugar. That was only 6 points, and that was a decent breakfast, hearty, kept me full pretty much during the day. I ate that actually a couple times during the week. For lunch that day, I actually had some baked chicken thighs that were left over from the dinner the night before, and a small salad with a little bit of homemade dressing. That was about 9 points. That left me with 15 points for dinner, where I made actually a pork chop, boneless pork chop with well trimmed. It was like a white meat loin pork chop. A can of corn on the cob, that's what it was, sorry. A package of like the Lipton noodles that you can just cook and make. Those aren't really the greatest thing in the world, but it was easy, and it was only, I think, 4 points for a serving of that. And then I also made a can of peas to go with that as well. The whole thing, including points for the margarine that was both on the corn on the cob and in the peas, only 15 points. That night for a snack, I had iced tea that went with my dinner, and I had an ice cream bar. There's a Weight Watchers bar that I'm using right now. It's a strawberry smoothie, only 2 points. Great, kills the sweet tooth, so that's perfect. So for the day, it was only 35 points. And I felt very satisfied that day, didn't feel hungry, nothing at all. And I went 9 points under my total. As I'm going through my totals here for the week, it seems I did that actually a couple different times. I never really hit my my limit of 44 points. I came in under a decent amount almost every day, which is interesting because I will have to go down at some point. You recalculate every time you're starting to notice yourself plateau. You reweigh yourself and re-evaluate your activity level, and then recalculate your points. And then you start anew, and you start losing again. And when you plateau, you do that again. You keep doing that until you get to the point to where you want to be in terms of your weight, and you just maintain once you get there. Now, the one thing that I also like about this, that's in addition to everything else, is you get a weekly allotment, kind of a bonus of 35 points. You can use that 35 points pretty much however you want. It explains in the program in the books that those 35 points are there to help you if you go over. Well, I'm not in danger of going over right now. I'm actually coming in well under my points. So right now what I'm using my 35 points for is I push everything to the end of the week on Sunday. And I use that 35 points as a reward for myself. I go ahead and make a fuller dinner, something maybe a little bit more calorie and points heavy. For example, beef is a little bit more points than both chicken or ham in the same amounts. So if I want to say make a steak dinner for my wife and myself on Sunday, or if I want to make that, I will push it to Sunday so that I can make sure to have plenty of points for that. That also gives me an allowance to have maybe a nice dessert to go with that dinner, or maybe a little special treat. For example, my wife is huge on ice cream. She loves it a lot. Um, Craves it pretty often. Right now, she's doing the program as well. On a weeknight, she kills her craving with a little bit of an ice cream bar, also made by Weight Watchers. I think hers is maybe 3 points, and also with frozen whipped topping, like a Cool Whip that's been frozen. She found a variety of it that's like low fat, low calorie, and it comes out to 0 points for I think a half-cup serving. So she eats that with her ice cream bar, and that goes ahead and takes care of her ice cream craving. Sorry, I can't talk. And that takes care of everything for her, so she doesn't feel like she's deprived in that regard. But if she wants real ice cream, she can push that off to Sunday, and still be able to indulge with a nice bowl of ice cream, and not be in any danger because she's got those extra 35 points. So I like that over Spark People for the reasons I pretty much just enumerated. But Spark People is still a good resource for other things, especially for the exercises. Now, it's kind of hard being a big person like I am, and if you're in my boat, and I'm assuming that's why you're probably watching, you're about my size, I wouldn't recommend trying to actually exercise right away. I tried that, and I got frustrated because it's really difficult to try to move around when you're this size. So what I would recommend instead is to just start moving. In my case, I am unemployed right now, so I have a little bit more freedoms, but what I started doing is moving around the house, doing more like house cleaning, doing the dishes, doing laundry, just moving around a little bit more to get myself a little bit more active. Once the weight started coming off with the diet and also the little bit of activity, I moved up. I now have about an hour's workout every day. We have a Nintendo Wii, and with that Wii, what I'll do is I'll plug it in, and I'll play a few games. I'll play about an hour's worth of games. I don't really... Wii isn't generally... Most of the games aren't generally full body intensive, but what I'll do is I will play act for the games, so I move around a lot, and that way I can get some activity both with my legs and my arms. So that's a good tip there for that. A second tip that I want to point out is this right here. I never have a bottle of water too far from me. This is a 32-ounce bottle. I have a filter pitcher in my refrigerator, and I fill this bottle up twice a day, so I always have plenty of water to drink, because that's really the key. I've noticed, for making this thing work. Don't waste your calories with drinks, and don't waste your points, because you only get so many points per day. Do you really want to drink your points? I don't think so. Now, if you're like me, and again, you probably are, you're probably used to drinking your points in soda. Well, it might be hard at first, and it was, for me to cut out my soda, and I had a huge soda intake. I drink probably the equivalent of 6 to 7 20-ounce bottles of soda a day. I've now cut down to the only thing I drink that's not water is 1 or 2 12-ounce glasses of iced tea. My iced tea used to be very sweet. I've actually cut that down to the point to where it's just 1 point per glass, just by slowly adjusting the sugar level to the point to where it's only 1 point per 12-ounce glass. Just got to do the math, and you can figure it out for yourself. So just do yourself a favor, look around, find different programs, look at how they work, and see what you can do that's going to work for you. And I think that's really going to put you in a good place so that you can get started with things. Don't be frustrated. Do planning. Do your due diligence before you start, and you'll find out that everything will work out in the end. So this has been the Portly Paladin, and I hope you fight the good fight with me and continue waging the war against your waistline. I'll see you next time.